Good fucking morning, dude.
What is up, bro?
How you doing on this fine Saturday morning?
Pretty good, actually. Not too bad.
Yeah. Dude, good issue though. Good,
Yes,
good issue.
yes, really good.
I did not I didn't think that of all the characters that we would see,
It would
I don't even
be,
think we even mentioned Ralph Dibny at all.
oh, yeah, he was not
Not
on my
even.
radar at all.
I mean, I think you said it was like Max.
Or Jay, yeah,
We were like saying a speedster.
yeah. I
I
didn't
said
think
heat
about,
wave. I was like,
yeah, I didn't think about, well, I mean, technically, you're not wrong. We did see Heat Wave in this.
right. Well, it was like teased.
Yeah,
Um,
which I guess, like, I guess we can start there. I, I was not expecting other experiments to have kind of, been busted out because of the accident.
right.
And did they look like that before the accident, or were they just like test subjects? Maybe the accident gave them their powers as well.
Yeah. So we
So,
see it says Project Heatwave, Project Wizard, and then Project XXXXX. And Project Firestorm. I didn't even see that on the ground.
yeah, that one I was like, okay.
I totally missed that.
Um, I wonder what the XXXX one is. But this,
Maybe
okay.
another speedster, maybe XS.
Oh, wow. But maybe
Um,
there's maybe we're going with no other speedsters other than Wally and the Reverse Flash in this.
well, dude, there's a lot in this issue. I actually was gonna read it again before we chatted, just because I
Yeah.
was like, I feel like we're gonna miss something. But dude, like Grodd, I don't know if it's like a misdirect or something, but it kind of seems like Grodd's turning heel like this quick.
Yeah.
Which I kind of was like, no, like because I
See,
forget
I
the
think
first
it's
name.
maybe Grodd is well, because like the whole issue, he's kind of saying like, oh, like don't worry, like we're gonna find a spot for you to be able to, you don't have to be in the hair as long. And then they end up doing the exact opposite.
Right.
So like, is it Grodd turning heel or is it Grodd like being like, all right, like this is just gonna, is he really gonna do what he says he's gonna do? But because right now he's not, so I'm gonna bounce for a minute.
Well, sh- um, I forget the first name, but Thawne in this, the female Thawne,
Yeah. What is her name?
she it starts with E. I know that. It's like,
Like
but it's
Eleanor
not
or
Eobard.
something.
Eleanor, yeah. Um, she says that like she basically tells Rudy that like they know where Wally is, and Grodd is bringing him to
The other
these
experiments.
subjects. Yeah.
And do you think maybe he's just drawn to the other ones and that's where he's like leading?
There could be like a chip situation where it's like,
Yeah.
maybe activated because like if you noticed, and this is like, the art, but like Grodd's face kind of was in shadow.
Yeah.
Like, and it seemed very intentional, like
Mhm.
kind of when Wally was like following him.
Right.
So I don't know. I would hate for it to be like one of those things where it's like, oh, it's they've never really been friends. It's kind of just been,
Well,
I
right,
don't think
because
it's
like
gonna be the case, but
in the end, I mean, he's still communicating with him. He's saying like hot, like
right.
Wallingrad stop hot, like. So I don't know. I We'll see what happens. I guess I don't want this. I don't want their like team up to be short lived. I want it to be like a.
No, I
I
like the
would like.
dynamic. I mean,
Yeah,
I've
I
definitely
would.
said it plenty of times now that it's like a Jack and Daxter thing, and I love that game. So it's like I like that. I like because I feel like this dynamic. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. This absolute universe, like you need to take certain things and you need to like totally flip it.
Yeah,
otherwise, what's the point? You know, like if we're,
right,
it's not just about like modernizing these characters and stories. Like you need to literally take them and like reinvent them. I've
right.
been like kind of revisiting like the original Ultimate Universe, and that's one of my
Mhm.
biggest complaints is like it's not good enough just to modernize these things. Like
Yeah,
you need to kind of keep the readers kind of guessing like, oh, like
right.
what? Like have you ever read the Ultimates, the original Ultimates?
Bits and pieces. I've never read the whole thing.
It's good, but I never realized it's a lot like The Boys.
Yeah,
It's
that
very
was the
like
vibe. That was the vibe I got. Because
my only experience with it really was there was the Ultimate Avengers animated movie. I didn't realize how much of a sanitized version that was of like from the actual comic. But a lot of the things in that, like it's like, okay, they kind of just took like the original stories and concepts from some of these characters and just kind of modernized them. And it's like, it's cool. You know, it's a good entry point for people. But I like to think this absolute universe, like there's more people that are kind of relapse fans than like brand new fans.
yeah, well, like,
So treat it like that, you know, like reinvent
and that
things.
was exactly. I think that was part of like the marketing for this. You know, is like you're gonna get a lot of people that have been out for a while back in, but with those people that are kind of jumping back in, you are gonna get a bunch of new people. You know, like Absolute Batman was a big book. And when it first came out, like, dude, everybody was calling about it.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
like we had people that were coming into the shop that were like, I've never read a comic book in my life, but I want to try Absolute Batman. Same with Ultimate Spider-Man when that came out the year before. And they're both like big enough reinventions to like one sell consistently every single month, but two also seems like it's keeping a pretty big reader base, every single month as well. And
Yeah, it is cool, man. Because like I've told you before, like my brother, he doesn't really read as much anymore. But like Absolute Batman was one of those things I didn't even have to tell him about. He like knew about it and he
yeah,
like sought after it, which I was like, oh, cool.
yeah,
Because like,
my brother doesn't read at all. And he was like, "Hey, he's like, do you think you can give me an Absolute Batman?" And I was like, "I can get you a second print." I said, "That's the best I could do because it's already sold out, but I could get you
yeah,
one." So he was,
I'm glad I got a first print.
yeah, I got a couple,
I didn't think it was actually gonna be that hard to find. It was like, whoa,
dude.
like
Like
I gotta pre-order
literally,
this quick.
yeah, day one, like when it dropped, dude, within like 20 minutes, bro, we sold out of it. It was not even like a thing. It was just,
Yeah,
and we did one copy per customer.
dude, I this book is selling good. I can like
Flash,
you can kind
yeah,
of tell.
Flash
Like,
is selling good too.
so. You know, when we're reviewing like a main flash, like a Spurrier flash, like
Mhm.
think about all the times, dude. Like we've had to push it back a week. Sometimes we've gone 2 weeks without we're talking about it.
Mhm.
And it's never one of those things where, see, if I didn't read it on Wednesday, I'm not getting spoiled. Like there's times where I've read it like Saturday,
Yeah,
Sunday, you know, like right before recording, not spoiled. This I
yeah.
got spoiled. I mean, I
Mm.
knew Linda was showing up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we kind of knew that
But
because Lemire had dropped a hint about it.
yeah, but I got spoiled. I was like, no,
Yeah,
like it's only
yeah.
been a day.
So, okay, like Linda's interesting in this because she is kind of just like in the same position that Wally's in. You know what I mean? Like we don't really know much about her.
Seems like another runaway kind of
Yeah,
situation.
her family.
Yeah,
Because like I mean, I guess which makes sense. Like because the Linda that is like in main DC universe is very like well put together.
right.
So if
Kind of
you
like
have
a Lois Lane
yeah,
archetype.
yeah,
Very,
exactly.
very close to that.
So if you get rid of all that and you clearly can't make her an adult if you're gonna have her be the love interest. So like the only option
Yeah.
is to make her literally just like him, a runaway teen who's they kind of find each other and go from there.
Well,
Uh,
you know what's funny is when I was reading this, I kind of thought about the thing I said a while ago about issue one, which I kind of wanted issue one to be a little bit more of a big swing, and it's almost like Lemire like heard me. It was like, oh, I know this is what you want. Like, remember I said like I want like a homeless Flash, I want like crazy powers, I want a very different take. Like,
Yeah.
he kind of gave me that with that issue. I'm like, this is
Mhm.
kind of what I was looking for. Maybe not
Hey,
to the
man,
extreme,
he's
but
slow burning you, I'm telling you.
I know, and it's awesome. It's so cool to like each issue. This is giving me like what I've been looking for a while, and I'm like, I'm happy about
Mhm. Hey, man, that's all you can ask for.
it.
I mean, honestly, like if it's not giving you what you want, why aren't we reading it?
No,
Uh,
no, that's like the thing I'm saying is like it's crazy how you get four issues in and I'm like the pacing is just well put together. I mean, whatever's going on with Grodd, I would have kind of preferred, I guess, give me like a couple more issues before you do something like this. Um, I just don't want it to ever be rushed.
yeah, no, right.
Like I
Like,
like some good like decompressed storytelling. I want to see more.
yeah, which I think these like this issue was really good for slowing things down because the last three were kind of just like gas, 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 gas,
Yeah.
gas, with like setting things up with the accident, his dad, the rogues, Grodd, all that. I mean, last issue felt like there was quite a bit there, like as far as like meat goes for the story. But this was like a really slow issue, and I think it was
Yeah.
perfect place.
But
Um,
at the same time, it's cool to like go into an issue and it's like, okay, it's kind of answering some of my questions, not
yeah,
all of them, and it's raising more, and I'm not pissed about it.
dude, because which is my problem with Spurrier. Like
It's like I can answer some questions for me, like
well, like here's the thing is like I feel like the questions that I want answered from Spurrier's run, they never do get answered. It's always something else. But then like with this so far, it's like you said, it's giving me the things that I'm looking for and the things that are enjoyable
yeah.
while also still keeping it exciting and fresh.
I did get an email. I think I sent it to you. I did get an email back from Spurrier. I'm hoping get him on the channel because got some questions, man.
Yeah.
But I'm worried that like he'll be like, oh, I'm down, and it'll be like
And
he's
then he's
done, and
gonna
I'm like,
watch
bro,
it.
yeah.
Oh no.
No, I'm worried that like by the time he's like, oh, I'm all caught up with everything, like I'm good to come on, he'll be like his run will be over, and we're like, yeah, bro, we don't even care
Dude, I
anymore.
keep seeing stuff about how 25 might be his last issue.
I feel like I don't even know.
I have no idea, bro. Because like 25 is supposed to be the last issue of Bad Moon Rising. But for some reason, I thought this was gonna go on a lot longer.
Bro, like there's no reason why Flash should be that far down. Like,
Where is it even at?
bro, right here.
Oh shoot, like
Bro,
what,
like I
14?
don't think I've ever seen it that low.
Dude.
Like, bro, one less than that, and I might miss it. You know what I mean? Like I'm used to like putting it up and like being like, okay, cool. But dude, like anything like here, like there's times where I've like and I hate saying this, but like there's times I miss a Geiger and I'm like, oh wait, Geiger.
Dude, yeah. Like yeah. So which those books, man, they're cool, but they're kind of dragging.
What? Ghost
The
Machine?
Ghost Machine books.
I feel like they need to I'm cool if like they go on a break, you know?
Which Rook is the only one that's done that.
And I like that though. I like how it'll like be like, okay, digest this and we'll be back.
All of like okay, Geiger has been good. Geiger, I feel like is one of the only ones that's really, really consistent. Um,
I'm so behind on Red Coat. Like I'm
Red
just
Coat's
reading
cool.
Geiger.
It's just like and it's just an anthology right now. It's just like one random important person slash event from the US's history that he's there for, and he just does cool stuff and shit, and he acts like himself.
Yeah, it's kind of
Uh,
wild that a facsimile is like this high up
which one?
right here. Uncanny.
Oh,
I mean,
they,
obviously it's just
they love
that,
them
that
facsimile,
issue, but
bro.
like,
Well, 'cause it's gonna be a foil too. Everybody's gonna get it.
fuck.
So many of them, dude. Well, so look at that. Then there's the incentive variant right there. Watch. Yeah, the 125. Yeah, town. Dude, like,
Tangent.
and you want funny little secret. Those foils, you don't get to pay cover price for them, bro. They upcharge it.
Oh yeah, of course.
So like retailers pay like full price. So then they have to upcharge it.
Bro, it's crazy. Like, we'll get back into Flash, but like, it's crazy to me how I kind of dismissed facsimiles, but like low key, when it's like an issue that's like sought after, it goes up in value. Like, I've
Yeah,
seen some
no, they
facsimiles go for
do.
like
They
50
do.
bucks. And
Hmm.
I'm like, damn, like, that's like the diet version of like the real issue, you know? Like,
Dude, okay. So if you're so okay, little bit of a fun fact time. Shoot for the golden record reprints for those old, really old
yeah,
Marvel issues. You might have to drop a couple $100, but it's about as close as you can get to the original printing because that's really the only other time they went through a printing that early on without it being like like I mean, guess technically yes, it is a facsimile, but really the only difference is other than like I think maybe the paper quality is there's no 12 cent image on
right.
the record reprints. So like anybody watching this wants to go and take a stab at getting some really old issues, like key issues, go that route instead as far as money goes. And then go from there. Maybe eventually you can afford a original copy in 10,000 years when we all have enough available income to do so.
Yeah. Uh, hmm.
I had one
Excuse me.
question about that we haven't talked about yet.
Yeah, what's up?
This little portal thing.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I've said to you from the jump that like the way the story's told, like through like kind of anxiety, and you see Wally kind of, it's almost like he's shifting
Hmm.
um through like past events. Like that's how like this like book really starts, like the first issue.
Yeah.
So I think it's another one of those things where like he doesn't realize he's time traveling because he's
Do you
at
think these are
his
like
mom's grave.
markers?
Well, look at like the page where like he's at his mom's grave and like it's not even filled yet. Like he's time traveling and he doesn't realize that. And I think that's kind of cool. And I think the rogues are kind of like, what is this, you know?
Yeah. I no, that's a good point.
It's
I
like through
just
his anxieties like shifting through time and it's like it's in a really cool way that's like the effects like the rectangles that kind of are going through like it's like
yeah,
he's even kind of struggling to process like am I having a flashback? Am I actually, you know, am I
right.
hallucinating or whatever? And I think that's cool. Interesting way to show time travel. I like it a lot. I think it's cool.
Yeah. And then like you talking about like the at least like the effects on how like the speed looks. It's the same effects that are used when Jesse tries to interact with the portal
Yeah.
or this like weird thing. So you're
Mm,
probably onto something. I maybe these are like the points in time where Wally has jumped and to leave
mm.
some kind of residue behind for them for somebody to follow if they're able to. Like, do you think maybe he's more so like opening up rifts in time, and that's what these things are,
Yeah.
or do you think it's Jesse kind of just being preemptive and saying, "I think it's a portal, but it's not really." It just seems like an
I
odd point. It seems like an odd point to make if you're not gonna make it that in some way.
I think it is a rip in time, and I kind of wonder if um that's like a tease. Like maybe one of the rogues will go through it and they'll be in the past. And what if there's like a thing like, well, where'd he go? And then there's like an older version that's just like, I've been
That would
waiting
be
a
dope.
long
Dude,
time. And that's like
Captain Cold that's like old and grizzled.
but like
That would be
that's like
sick.
the cliffhanger where they're like, where'd he go? And be like, I've been waiting a long time.
Do you like yeah?
That's
Oh. Well, like, I mean,
yeah.
that doesn't that's not impossible because Rudy already seems like he's not happy with these guys,
Mm,
and it's kind of fitting to make one of them kind of to make them disappear and like make this big play to try and capture Wally, but instead he gets stuck through time. And then on the other, you know what I mean? It could all tie together pretty nicely. Like you have all of these cause and effect things where, Rudy's pissed at them because they couldn't find his kid. So now they're pissed at Rudy because he thinks that they can't get the job done. So one of them makes a big play to like, well, I'm just gonna follow him. And
right.
then we end up getting the effects of that.
But what if like so I'm still convinced that like that image of that when they showed like the two futures and like they want you to
Mhm.
think like, okay, this is Wally if he's on a good path and this is him if he
Yeah.
takes a dark turn. I'm still convinced that that's Barry, that other one,
Okay.
because it's not like they want to keep like Lemire is trying to keep that like on your mind. Like they're like, don't
Yeah,
this like
every issue we've
haunting,
gotten something about Barry.
yeah, this haunting kind of thing. It's not just like the guilt. It's like this will come back and it'll be like, whoa,
Well,
okay,
also if see, thinking about that, portals are a two-way street, man. What's to stop this monster from coming through the other side?
right.
You know,
And maybe that's the thing too. Like maybe because when Wally was going through that rip, he saw Barry. What if like Barry's chasing him through those?
well,
You
right,
know?
which has kind of been the indication because it was his
Yeah.
last issue where he was running and then he looks back and he sees like Barry's like reaching out. So maybe Barry will catch him, and that's what that. I don't know. There's
Bro.
just a lot that I'm. There's like so many little small fine points that I'm
But
like,
it's
great,
it's
I'm interested.
it's a lot, but it's like not because it's like it's so digestible. Like
Mhm.
Lemire's pacing on this stuff is so good. Like I don't have to tell you because I know you're a big Lemire fan, but like
Yeah,
this is good, man. Like this is some good shit.
I get it. The Divneys,
Yeah.
do they get powers or no?
Part of me kind of thinks it might just be like a little wink, like a little nod to the fans.
Which is kind of what I thought it
I'm
was.
fine with that. Like I don't need the Flash purist in me doesn't need to see everyone
Associated
get their
with,
abilities and kind of like I
yeah,
don't need this to get to kind of line up with like Earth Zero. Like I like these being winks, you know?
yeah,
Focus this should just be character driven. Give it to me a little
yeah.
bit at a time. But like I'm fine with it being a wink. I like Elongated Man. He's always been one of those characters that I've always really liked. I mean, hot take, I like Elongated Man more than Plastic Man. So maybe it's just because he's
That
like
is kind of a hot take, but I feel like
redheaded character.
people don't like Plastic Man because he's dirty and he's
But
funny. That's
I
really,
mean, it's definitely because of being a Flash fan and he's just a redheaded character. But like,
yeah,
I, I always just liked that he was like a detective and he was like a little more in the serious side and just
yeah,
cool, you know? But it's because I read all those Silver Age Flash issues. So I'm like,
yeah.
oh,
That's
that's my
true.
boy, you know? I almost tried to buy a first appearance too.
Oh,
Thought
nice.
about it.
That would be tight.
But I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm outweighing it because I'm like, first Elongated Man, first Wally West. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm waiting for the Wally West.
Gotta make the choice there.
And it kind of was like around the same price range. So I'm like, nah, I'm not going to shoot for that. But
Who else do you think we see in here that is not a Flash family character, but has been in Flash for a long period of time?
well, we're going to see Firestorm.
Yeah, that's right. We'll see Firestorm. Do you think
Um,
we'll see Pied Piper?
mm, mm,
Maybe
it,
another kid like with like Linda and him. Maybe he's just another one of those like in passing we see him.
maybe, that would make sense.
Because if they're not going to spend a lot of time on some of these side characters, then it would make sense to maybe just have all of these familiar faces just sprinkled throughout. And that would be, I think, I guess, the most approachable way to put him in.
Yeah. trying to think.
I don't know. With them being, with Ralph being such a left field like introduction, now I'm just kind of interested to see who, even if it is just for like a quick second, I'm interested to see who else is going to be uh in this.
Yeah.
Um,
Huh.
oh, now I'm just going to be like thinking of all of these real random characters that have shown up for
I don't know.
like do like Dick. Which Reverse Flash are we actually going to get? Like, is it going to be Hunter at some point, or is it just going to be Eleanor Thawne?
It would be cool to see like a hunter equivalent, like another runaway kind of kid.
Oh, that would be
That would be kind of
almost
cool.
kind of like a Barton Inertia kind of
Mm.
deal. I didn't think about that. That would actually be really interesting.
It would be cool like if you got like a kid hunter and it's another runaway and like Wally like maybe with this Grodd stuff he's like kind of on a low where he's like I'm really alone now. Like and what if like Hunter is like it's like another misdirect where like he's trying to befriend Wally, like he's kind of like undercover, like get close to him, you
Oh,
know?
yeah,
And
like
it,
see, like, and then he's like another military, like a military kid.
yeah, yeah.
Ah, that would be a
Like try
cool
to
kid.
kind of relate to him, get, you
Yeah,
know,
like draws him in, and then yeah, that would be kind of cool actually.
or it's like they replicate, oh, they replicate the experiment with
Right,
whatever
like
they have, and they're like, all right,
okay.
like
See,
maybe,
now we're talking. Now we're
yeah,
talking because Eleanor may not even be the one who gets powers. It could easily be her son. And she's
mm,
very interested in replicating it seems like she's very interested in replicating the experiment, or at least finding out what's going on,
I'm
rather
kind
than
of,
finding Rudy's son.
I'm kind of curious. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, and she's kind of withholding stuff, and
He's pretty shady, dude.
yeah,
Like because we got like a little bit of her last issue, and it was like just some dialogue because they were up in the thing, right?
yep.
But yeah, I think she's the wild card right now.
Well, you kind of wonder like what's her relationship with Barry? Like what were they?
Yeah. Well, they even have that Lazarus Corp name drop too.
Yeah.
So, which I don't, dude, like there's so many, I think there are so many connections to all of that. And I think that's going to be a pretty big point is it, and maybe this is too early to say, but it really seems like they've set up this Lazarus Corp to be like the overarching villain for the Absolute universe because you've got Ra's al Ghul, who's kind of like, I don't know, he's almost like Vandal Savage now.
Yeah. That's what I got out of it.
So you have that, but you've also got Brainiac who works for him, and then you've got like technically Barry and Eleanor who kind of also have a contract with them and have been doing, experiments and all these other things for them. But there are also a lot of like outliers in the Absolute Universe right now. Like you've got like Joker. We don't know what his
Right.
affiliation is, but with all of the stuff he's doing with like keeping himself young and has all this money, and it seems to indicate that he's been around for a really long time, which is probably more so Snyder playing on his New 52 idea and making Joker like that ancient evil of Gotham.
Yeah.
But if you,
Yeah. That shit was good. I remember it. I loved that.
yeah, but
I
see,
know it
like
was a little divisive, but
you can still do that, but you don't have to make him an ancient, mysterious entity. You can just make it so he's been alive for hundreds of years due to Lazarus or what other things. Because even in Superman, like it makes a point to say that Vandal Savage has been looking for a son, like to replace him and to take over. Not Vandal Savage, Ra's al Ghul.
I was gonna
Um,
say, I was like, wait a minute.
now see now it's just he like dude like just
Not
seeing
screwing you
him
up.
after he's all like juiced up after he gets out of the pit, I'm like he's literally just Vandal Savage.
Yeah.
But so like and then who is this son or did he like and I think they even reference that he's had one before. So maybe it wasn't a biological son. Maybe Joker was meant to be his heir, and something happened with that.
I
And
am
they're
kind of
like,
wondering like
they're
how long until a absolute, justice or that's probably what they're gonna call it, Absolute Justice. Um, and who writes it? You think it's Snyder? You think Snyder writes it?
Mm,
Put Dan
maybe,
Mora on art?
maybe,
Bro, Dan Mora needs to take a break. Give that man a vacation. He's doing too much.
dude. He'll never stop, bro.
Bro,
I just think he's it's for the love of the game for him.
bro. I mean, good for him. Like I'm happy for him, but
Yeah.
I don't want like a I shouldn't I'm not even gonna say it, but
What?
like one of those things where it's like, man, they killed Dan Mora, like they
Dude, or
overworked
like,
him.
yeah, like you remember all those talks about how like they used to like check on Jeff?
Yeah, yeah,
I've heard those, right? Where the like
yeah,
other creators would be like, we'd have to go check on Jeff because we weren't sure if he was eating or drinking. He'd just be working and working and working and working.
yeah,
That's how I imagine it is for Dan. Like days will go by and nobody hears anything. He's just drawing and they're like, "Hey, are you okay in there?" He's like, "I'm fine."
yeah. Oh, real quick. Uh we are yesterday. I've only read the first part.
Yes.
How has it been? I feel like it's not
It's
landing.
okay.
I feel like it's not landing. Like,
I really wish Mora was doing the art on at least the Justice League issues, but he's not doing any of he might be doing the finale, but he hasn't done anything on it yet. I
I'll get to get caught up with it.
it's
I
cool.
feel like the
I
crossovers, I
don't
get a little,
I think where it's at right now, because we're like four out of the six issues into it, I
yeah.
just it's not where I thought it was going. It's not bad,
The
but
first issue I thought was cool, but it's one of
it
those
really
things where I'm waiting for DC Infinite. I'm gonna,
yeah,
when it's done on there, I'll be caught up and I'll get back. And
yeah. It
I
really is
think
good.
I'm still gonna wait for DC Infinite for World's Finest. I just feel like the Dan Mora effect, man, happened with Detective Comics. Like when he's off, I'm like, ah.
Dude, I
He's so good that like you can't like if you try to replace him,
well like
you're
the
just like,
guy
where is he?
listen, the guy that they got after him, Adrian Gutierrez, is really good. He's really good.
But that Aquaman arc, I it took me so long to read that.
What?
I wasn't really feeling it, man.
I was biting every issue, man. I thought it was good.
I
But
wasn't feeling it. I don't know why. I was just
this
like,
we are
oh,
this we are yesterday thing, it really is just focused on um the Legion of Doom and Grodd and I'm sure that there will be a purpose as to why because okay, so I guess this most recent issue kind of made a big development with Grodd
yeah,
because they're searching for the chaos energy that Darkseid left behind also. So a lot of it is pretty much all of those books are connected in some way, like Justice League, Superman is a bit connected to that. Um, World's Finest is obviously doing the crossover with Justice League, but then you had like Justice League, the Atom Project. You've had Justice League, or not Justice League, you had the Watchtower book. You've had Challengers of the Unknown. Like you got all these like mini series and other titles that have been building up all of this stuff with Inferno, with Legion, and all of these other like the dark side stuff in the background. I'm hoping it will lead to something big at the end of the crossover because God made a big move and it was a cool like last page reveal. But we'll see what happens.
bro. I can't believe this starts next week. New history of the DC universe. And I mean, I probably knew when it was announced, but like, bro, every issue, like, awesome artist.
Yes,
Like,
dude.
we haven't seen like Brad
Brad
Walker
Walker,
in a
Michael
while.
Red. I can't wait. I
Bro,
can't wait.
Brad Walker's work on Detective when he was doing it with Tomasi, so good, dude. So good.
I'm in it for Michael Red on this one.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
in,
dude.
dude. I'm in.
Bro, Doug Mank, like, bro,
And
like,
Dan
this is
Jurgens, get
crazy.
out of town.
T
Who's
Tony Daniel, love
and
Tony
Hayden
Daniel.
Sherman?
Dude, they found like the perfect like balance where it's like if you don't like at least one of these artists, you're crazy, you know?
Yeah. Dude, Hayden Sherman is just absolutely destroying it. And like everything he does. He's doing Absolute Wonder Woman. He's doing dude, have you read any of Batman Dark Patterns?
No, I'm gonna give it a good binge. It's one of those things.
Read the shit out of that, dude. It is so good.
Well,
It's
you know me, dude.
ridiculous.
I'm always down for some Batman. I mean, look at I got the shirt on.
Like, and I don't even care. Like most modern Batman books, and you know this. Like, I'm not in it, but
Oh
this
yeah.
is hella good, dude. It's
So I
really
feel like everyone kind of, people like us that, are always binging comics, like everyone's got that time in the year where they're binging some Batman. You know what I mean? You get in that Batman kick and you're going.
Dude, I've been holding out for so long. It's coming. I can feel it, dude. Like reading that makes me really want to just go read a bunch of Legends of the Dark Knight.
Oh, bro, that series is so good. Like
Dude,
like
that's what this
you'll
feels like because it has
yeah.
that like perfect blend of like your typical like noir detective Batman. But then one thing will happen and it throws everything into like a supernatural twist. It's so good, dude. It is like every issue is like eerie, but you still like Bruce is like not is down but not out. Like it's perfect. Every single issue has just been fucking awesome.
I feel like Batman is kind of going into that era with the last few years. It's kind of like X-Men where like you're like, "Oh, I'm going to read Uncanny." Like and like you'll be reading and you're like, I'm reading the wrong Batman book. Just like you're like, I'm reading the wrong X-Men book. It's the same thing.
Yeah, no,
Like there was
that's
that time where Tynan's Batman was kind of like, but everyone was still reading it. But like
mhm,
Detective was like on fire. And like I'm like,
yeah.
bro, people are missing out. Like Dan Moore is drawing this. Like
And it's funny because like I skipped Tinian and I wasn't reading Detective at the time because it was Tamaki that did it with more, right?
yeah.
I don't know, man. Like 2000, even like other than like the first stretch of Rebirth, Batman, I just have not been enjoy. I just hadn't been enjoying Batman up until the last couple of years. Like, you've had like the few, like the Lemire book, like Robin and Batman was good. Batman Dark Age was good. And there have been a few Batman books, but it's always been like the ancillary ones. It's never been like main Batman. Like even when Zdarsky was writing it, I tried it. I read it for two arcs. I didn't care.
Isn't Lemire doing a Batman
Yeah, he's
book?
doing the sequel to Robin and Batman. It's the Jason Todd one.
I'm gonna check that out. There's always like just those books where I'm like, I gotta check this out at some point.
I love that cover.
Who's your favorite Robin? I've never asked you this.
Uh, I Dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Jason's fine. I just think he's a shit.
I so I just go on a quick tangent. I remember being a kid and I must have been like at like one of my parents' friends' house and there was comics somewhere. Or they might have been like those trading cards where it had like a comic cover and you flip
Mm,
it back and it had a little description.
yeah.
And I remember it was Death in the Family.
Mhm.
And I remember reading it and I'm like, yo, they killed Robin. But like this was like early 2000s. Like this
Yeah,
was
you have
like
no idea. Like,
I had
what
no
the
idea.
hell?
But like that like always like stuck with me where I'm like,
Hmm.
oh, comics can get dark. And
Yeah.
like I met it was a year or two ago, met Jim Starlin, which was cool, but like
Mhm.
that's always stuck with me. So like and I also remember shortly after that, I think it was like in 2000 somewhere between like 2006 2009 when they brought Jason back. I
Mhm.
remember that was one of those things where I'm like, yo,
Like
they brought
this.
the dead Robin back. So like I know he's not the best character, but like I've
Yeah,
always
but you have
just
that like attachment.
got that connection to it. Like and I
That's cool.
like the angsty Robin, but like that's also like why I like Damien. Like I like
I was
Damien
just
too.
gonna
Like
ask you if you like Damien too, because he's kind of like also a shithead.
yeah, like but I love like the Damien Dick
Yeah.
Grayson partnership, like
He
the Grant
like
Morrison stuff. That's
I
my
feel like
shit.
that's such a natural progression. Like
Yeah.
Dick is obviously not supposed to be Batman, but he's so good at it that I wish he was just Batman all the time.
Mm.
So like when him and Damien have their relationship, I'm like, man, this is really cool.
Are you
It's
gonna
like,
check out Fractions Batman?
yeah, I will. I'll give it a shot.
Do you see there a lot of people are convinced that it's Dick under the cowl?
But see, like it's like they're like story arcs throughout his history, right? It's kind of what we're starting off with, and they all have
I
like
think
loose
so.
connections. That would be cool.
That's definitely a
See,
number one that I'm gonna pre-order.
I also see. I've had this Batman idea for a long time, but it'll never happen. We need to actually kill Bruce, like for real, kill him, and then let the mantle of Batman get tossed between the Robins. I think it adds an interesting dynamic to the character that you don't have before. Plus, it adds another layer between whatever Batman is out in the field and whatever rogue they have to encounter. You can also adjust based on their skill sets, what they excel at, all those things for their particular job. Like you, and then you really can play it up. You have Barbara who's calling all the shots as Oracle. Like you can make it a Bat family book and still make it Batman. And you don't even have to necessarily have this reveal with, you almost do the all new Venom thing where you're dancing around who the new Batman is, but you don't actually reveal it until X amount of issues in. And you can play with the personalities. So each issue, if it's a different Robin under the cowl, the way that they're going to approach situations is going to be different, or the way that they interact with the villain and other characters is going to be different. But you have all this mystery where everybody's like, what the hell is Batman doing?
Did you ever read Battle for the Cowl?
I mean, that's essentially what that is, right?
Kinda.
I mean, yes, yes, I
Yeah.
know, but I
But I like your take because it's kind of like, so you remember like the Mystery of the Batwoman, like animated movie?
yes, yeah,
Kind of like that. You take that animated movie and you take Battle for the Cowl and it's like put them together. Then
mm,
you essentially have that.
yeah. Hey, I
And I
mean,
think
you
it'd work. I think it'd be cool. And I think it would be cool. It would, dude, it would sell like crazy. Like then it would give you have all these different interpretations of like the Batman costume that are more tailored
that
towards the
that too, yeah.
Robins.
That also, yeah.
Bro,
You can
you
really
got the
play with the
variant,
character
bro.
design too.
You get the variants, dude. Like you
Ah,
could do all
dude,
these variants, you
DC,
know?
don't listen to me. I was joking. Don't do it.
Yeah.
You're gonna bleed us all dry.
That'll probably destroy the industry. Something like that. It will destroy it. It'll literally just collapse
Seriously, you got some people that are so pissed that Bruce Wayne is actually dead that there's no proof. Fuck it is.
because like you're gonna have like five or six Frank Quietly variants. You're gonna have Jim Lee variants. You're gonna
Yeah,
have
you're
Jim
gonna
Lee
have
foil
your Jason
variants.
Fabrik variants and your
You're gonna have the Frank Miller one
dude.
hundred
Oh
variants.
no.
It'll just collapse the whole industry. DC goes bankrupt. It's kind
They're
of
gonna have
like
like
history's
150
repeating
variants.
itself. Dude,
Dude,
history repeats itself. DC goes bankrupt. They have to sell all their properties. All of a
but
sudden,
not Marvel. It's like the total
yeah,
opposite. Oh
dude,
shit.
all of a sudden, like, all right, this is how the it works. So Sony finally caves and gives Spider-Man back to Marvel, but Sony in return gets Batman. Sony has Batman.
Buys the Batman rights from Warner Brothers and DC. Oh my
Big,
God.
huge deal,
Dude,
collapses the whole thing.
just imagine though, Sony Pictures, whatever Batman villain you want movie. You could get a
Yeah.
Condiment King movie finally.
We'd get like the most kick-ass, insane animated Batman movie that would be like, oh my God. We don't like people would actually be
You
like,
would
we don't
actually
need
get
another.
Batman Beyond, that Batman Beyond
Yeah.
movie that they talked about.
Yeah.
Dude, see there is potential there. You just have to be willing to put through all the shit like that comes along with it.
I just love how this all spirals out of your Batman idea.
It's all my fault, dude. Dude, if I tank the industry, I'll gladly accept that.
Yeah, yeah, you'll have one of every cover.
Now, see now, like, dude, and then all the Dan Mora variants that would be around. This is the see, and then I'm gonna kill Dan Mora because he's gonna be drawing all these variants.
Yeah. And then don't even get me started about the connecting covers too.
Acetate covers, you got to have each one that's up close with the mask, and you take the acetate off, and it's their Robin face underneath.
You know how they have like the giant size variants?
Shut the fuck up.
They're gonna have like
No.
they're gonna have the microscopic variant, and it's
Yes,
like this
$20
big.
ones.
Yeah. And someone's gonna CGC it, and it's just gonna be a little tiny thing.
The mini comics. That's too
Have you
funny. And
seen those
they're foil.
graded?
They're foil.
The foil microscopic atom
Yeah,
variant. That's what it's called.
the Atom variant.
There's like those ash can
Yeah,
covers or like
Ashcan's are a little smaller.
yeah, like when you see those CGC'd, I'm like, what the
Dude,
fuck?
you know what really makes me laugh? TGC, the mini comics. Like, do you remember the Spider-Man 300 one?
Hmm.
That one make is hilarious to me. Oh no, it is Amazing Spider-Man 300 because on the back is like the cover for Web of Spider-Man #1, the Charles Vess, that painted cover. But yeah, seeing that thing graded, it goes for money, bro, but it makes me laugh every time because I'm like, it's literally like the size of my phone.
Yeah.
It's a little bit smaller. So when it's in this big ass slab, I'm like, you guys really couldn't just make a really tiny slab and just or like put it in like a card slab.
Yeah.
It makes me laugh when they do shit like that. Or when they graded when they graded just the clear pieces of acetate and they're like, it's an invisible comic. I'm like, shut the hell up.
Well, I always get a kick out of when it's like cover only or like single page. I think it's kind of cool though, like when you have like an issue that's like kind of hard to get, but like
Yeah.
for a hundred
Like if I
bucks
had
you
a
can get a
page of
page.
Action Comics #1, I'd probably get it graded
I'm
just
gonna see
because I
what like
wouldn't want it to fall apart and deteriorate. But I also wouldn't want a dumbass page of nothing, like an ad page. I wouldn't want that from Action Comics. That would be dumb. Could you imagine, dude? Like you just like, look, I found a page and it's a fucking ad page.
single page CGC. Let's see what we got. Captain America Comics, 1941, 12th page only. Doesn't even have Captain America on it.
What's it going for?
400 bucks.
$400?
Doesn't even have Captain America on it.
That's crazy, dude. There's an yeah, I think I'm gonna be hard
Oh, I
pressed.
see why it's so much. Two-page Stanley first work for Timely.
Oh,
That's why
every
it's so
time
much.
Stan did something, that would make sense. Damn, that's actually a cool grab then, because it's not a key, it's like a historical thing. That's pretty cool.
Batman 1, 19th page only, first appearance of the Joker.
Like that first page is his appearance.
He's not
Or is it
even
just
on
like
it.
the issue is just his first appearance. I know that, but I don't know
Yeah.
exactly when in the issue he shows up. That's
Looks
cool
like
though.
it's mostly like Robin stuff, but
That's so hella cool though.
$885.
Damn. Yeah, there's a couple old Action Comics pages in there on eBay that were like over 1,000, but they weren't even #1.
Oh, this is kind of cool actually. Daredevil 7, single page 4 only, but it's the first time Daredevil ever wears the red costume.
Oh, when he okay,
That's pretty cool.
got you. Dang, it's crazy that he went. I forgot that he went like a few issues before switching into the red.
Yo, I don't know if you can see this, but this is a Green Lantern 16, first appearance of Silver Age Starfire or Star Sapphire. But it's like, what a cool single page. I don't know if you can see that.
I can see it. It's oh, is it like him? Okay, yeah, that is a type page. Oh, that's like the title card page.
Yeah,
That would be a cool thing to own.
put it on my watch list.
There you go. How much is that one?
It's auction, so it's like at 25 right now, but
Just $25?
8 days left though.
Yeah, I would say maybe wait a few days before you go putting a bid
Uh,
down.
Not that long ago, I bought the first appearance of Hush, CG Seed 9.8. I don't even know why I bought it. I kind of spent a lot of money on it.
You're
Spent
fucking
like,
lying to me.
huh?
So you're fucking lying to me, right?
I spent like maybe 170 on it,
Oh,
160.
you think it was worth it? Do you like Hush?
I like Hush, but
It's the character. I mean, I guess that's the
I
more important part.
it was kind of one of those things where no, actually, I'm looking back, I must have got a good deal on it. to pull the trigger on it.
It was graded, you said, right?
Yeah, 9.8. So
9.8. Was it signed or anything, or just like the regular?
just the regular. I think I also like the cover too, and I don't really have any Batman CGCs, so like
Whoa, what's the cover for his first appearance? Because it's clearly one of those Jim Lee covers. I just don't remember which one.
pull it up for you. Oh, why not? Just pull it up here. Um,
609. Yep. I was just about to say. Like it was that cover. Okay, I get it. I get it. Because that cover's been through a few reprints, gotten a facsimile. It's popular,
yeah,
dude.
yeah. So
Dude, those those that Poison Ivy cover, I was this close to getting one. I was this close.
I also just love this Batman logo too. I
That
think it's
is
the
yeah.
best title logo they've ever had.
Yeah.
So
No, yeah, that just that cover alone goes for some money. So 170 or whatever you paid for is not that bad.
it's probably
Definitely
overvalued
not a
now.
bad price.
It probably will go up in value.
I would imagine. I just because it's one, who knows how much longer Jim Lee's actually going to be drawing. You know what I mean? And two,
Well, apparently
uh,
there's a Hush 3, so
you're shut up, dude. There's no way.
apparently.
Why?
I
Okay,
think
but
I think I think
there's
Hush 2 is
no.
gonna end on like a cliffhanger.
Oh my God, dude. I'm over it, bro. Like,
It's such
yeah,
a grab. I wish it
right,
wasn't
right.
in the main Batman book. That's my
It
biggest gripe
should
with it.
be its own title. It should be its own title.
I think it warrants a because like we could already have Matt Fraction's Batman right now, and like I think
Yes,
it's gonna be good,
yes.
and I like Matt Fraction,
Do
and
you
like I
think
just feel
maybe?
like going back to Jim Lee art,
No.
it's like you're going back in time where it's like
What if
I
we're doing
like
like
this
a
right now,
year with Fraction, a year with like, and then we'll be back to another year with uh Lee and
Jim
Loeb.
Lee. Yeah.
That just
Well,
seems like such a chaotic schedule to be writing Batman under. Like to do like a year and then if Hush 3 comes out in a year, it's still hypothetical. To let somebody run a year and then have like interrupt their run to just do that and then have them pick it up a year later after that, it's just silly, man. Like it doesn't make any sense.
well, and I feel like when they do go back, they won't even have like the current Batman suit. Like they'll probably go back to like whatever Jim Lee wants to draw.
Right. And that's like the annoying part is like you don't and with Hush 2, it just seems like it's obviously in modern continuity, but it's also kind of confusing.
Well,
Like Ryan's been keeping me up to date with it, and he's been
yeah.
like just like feeding me everything that's been going on. It just sounds like garbage, dude. Like
Well,
not
it's
like
like
not to
one of
be
those
like blunt,
things.
but it just sounds like it's just unnecessary.
It alienates like any fan that's been like consistently reading Batman for years
Yeah.
because you're kind of like, why is Jason like I feel
Yeah.
like Jason's come to terms with this stuff already.
You're right. Yeah, exactly.
It's like you kind of just like
I don't know.
it just feels like it warrants a black label. I think it would sell fine as a black label. But
Yes,
like it's like
100%.
I have a friend that like he still gets a subscription to Batman, but like he hasn't been reading it. He's like, oh, I'll get to them at some point. But like when he found out Hush 2, he was like, oh, I'm gonna read this.
Yeah.
And he's loving it. But I'm like, bro, it's because you haven't been reading Batman. That's why you love it so much. And
Yeah,
like he was
exactly.
like, really? And I'm like, yeah, like as someone that's been reading it consistently for years, you enjoy the Jim Lee art, but it's like the
Yeah.
story is kind of like
Like, and that's the other thing too is like how much can the Jim Lee art carry these days? Because like, and yes, and maybe it's just the nostalgia aspect of it, but I feel like there are other artists out there that can do that level of work. I don't know, and it'd be like more consistent, I guess.
I just find it so strange that you're end capping this Batman run. 163 issues. It started 2016 with a Hush sequel.
Oh, hold on a second. We're this going back to a number one, right? With Fraction.
Yeah.
Do you think that this stays at this numbering and they release together? You have the new volume of Batman with Fraction, but they keep this one going for those stories.
Well, this originally was supposed to come out in September, and
You got
it's
pushed back.
delayed now. So Batman, there's a chance that I think Batman 1 and this drop around the same time.
See, but I thought Batman 1 got pushed back even further now.
We'll find out.
Dude, now we're just doing the detective work here. Nope, FOC is in August. Release date
I don't think
September
this is
3rd.
updated yet.
Okay, I was gonna say I feel like that's not accurate. That is such a great cover though.
I know.
Do you like okay. They talk about iconic Batman covers, but they don't really talk about modern iconic Batman covers. I really truly think that that is going to be one of them.
Well, you hear they're doing a blind as a bat, like bag.
The grab bag. Yeah.
Yeah. Which, dude,
The
all these
Battle Beast
variants are
one,
awesome.
the Battle Beast one sold so well. Everybody's going to do it now.
I'm gonna get that. I wonder if you can get it at Golden Apple, like pre-order it.
Oh, I'm sure Frank Wiley variant fucks
I
hard,
would
dude.
freak out if I got that one.
Thing is sick.
But dude, it's awesome because like honestly, the main cover's great, but all the
Yeah,
variants are cool.
I honestly really could just go with the main cover and be happy. I just think it's that shit's so cool, dude. And the new logo is tight also.
Yeah. Nah, I'm not crazy about it, but it's cool.
I mean, not like on his chest, but I think like the trade dress logo. I really like it.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about the trade dress,
Man, you just
but
like the classic one, I know.
I know. But all right, man, let's wrap this up. We've talked enough about Batman.
Half Flash,
Um,
half Batman.
yeah, but what do you expect? But
Always
yeah,
shooting the
man,
shit.
looking forward to the next issue and looking forward to more
Flash is
Batman
out next
stuff.
week, right?
Yeah, so we'll talk Flash next week.
Yep, we'll be back next week with Flash. I just really want that book to be over, dude.
Bro, we
I'm
gotta
sorry.
we gotta stick it. We
I'm
gotta keep
sorry,
going.
Spurrier. I'm
You
sorry.
ready for someone else to?
Yeah, I'm ready for the fun Flash that I like to read. I don't know.
I would love, and I think this is the what the book needs because I think it needs like a little jolt. You put Wade back on the book. Have him finish some of his other stuff. You put Wade, this is his big return.
Stop it.
I don't think he would. When I talked to him, he just was like, I think I've told everything I needed to tell.
Yeah,
But
but he has that Barry story, which I feel like that's maybe what new history of the DC universe might end up being.
oh yeah, yeah.
So I'm okay if he doesn't come back. But I also maybe
You like to see like new blood. You want to see like someone, and this would be the
yeah,
third time he'd come back to the Flash, so it'd be like, nah. But
that is true because he came back after right after John's left, huh? For a brief stint.
yeah, which people kind of forget.
It's like what, 8 issues or something, right? It's not
Yeah,
even that
I
long.
think
It's
I
just
have the
with the
trade.
West Twins. I don't remember which issues it is, but
It's
yeah.
so unnecessary. Like you can honestly skip it if you never read it. But
And I think I have one issue from that second stint that he did, and I've read that one a couple times, but I haven't read the others.
yeah, it's so
I will just eventually read it just to be like, I finished it. I got it all done.
yeah.
But I don't know, man. I just want anybody that's gonna like bring that like injection of life and if fun back into the Flash because it just seems like it's so serious for no reason.
I think they'll put someone big on, um, because I think you do need like a little jolt back in there.
That's why I'm hoping Ryan North, dude. I'm really hoping it's Ryan North.
I'm not super support.
I'll even say I'm okay with Barry being the lead if it's gonna be Ryan
No,
North. I'm perfectly
no.
fine with that, bro. Like trust me, I know it's blasphemy coming from my
Yeah,
lips, but I think Ryan North would absolutely destroy it, bro, if it was with Barry. Even
we'll
if it was the
see.
whole Flash family, because everything he's done with the Fantastic Four has been so god tier, it's like ridiculous.
Hey, if he could juggle it and kind of give us maybe like a successor to Adam's run, I'd be happy with it. Give us
So
that. I'm cool with that.
and he could be the one to do it, man. It would just be the only reason I say Barry as the lead is because everything in Fantastic Four has been like so sciency, and I feel like it would be really, really cool to see Barry like kind of be a leader because he is the most like the older of the two. He's been, I guess, active the longest. He has a different like skill set than Wally does in terms of his his smarts and other things that Wally like may not even be able to think. So I don't know. I think it'd be a really cool dynamic if you really played up the fact that they are like DC's Fantastic Four and you did a lot of those things. It would be cool. You could
I
see
hope
him
so.
do you could see him do the time travel stuff in really cool ways. You could see like the multiversal stuff in really cool ways. Like I just think about like certain situations that North put like the Fantastic Four through like early on in his run. Like
Mm,
there's an issue where they go to like a 4D dimension and it allows Reed to use his abilities in a new way because in the real world he can only stretch his body to the third dimension. But in this new reality, he's able to morph and change his body into other ways and do new things. It's really cool.
that is cool. It
So
does sound
like
like the
to
perfect person, you know?
yeah, like and the way that like there's an issue where Sue has to like basically block out the sun to kill these organisms that grow in like sunlight, and if they continue to grow it'll consume the planet. So and it starts in this little town, so they like do the science and do the math and they figure out how long it's going to take for them to die out without sunlight, and she blocks out the sun in this particular area of the planet for I think like 12 hours, but like Johnny has to help her do it, and and it's just the way that he's used all of their powers together or like put them in situations where they've had to think outside the box with their abilities. I think that would be perfect for Flash.
I hope it happens, man. I hope it happens. It
It'd
just
be
sounds
fun.
too good to be true. Like it sounds too
I
good
know.
not to
And
be true, but like
you keep
it
telling me this
sounds
is freaking Tom Taylor, but that's not gonna happen, dude. I don't think it's gonna happen.
no,
Not
no.
anymore. Court is what he's busy doing now.
Bro, or Ram V, get Ram V on there, dude. No, I think Ram V, I don't know if you've seen it on Twitter, but everyone wants him to do Green Lantern Corps after this New Gods issue that he just did.
I would be down to see him do Justice League. Have you been reading New Gods?
No.
It's crazy, dude.
I just saw people freaking out on Twitter. They're like, put him on Green Lantern Corps. Because I think Green Lantern
This
Corps will
book
get
is
canceled.
literally insane. Wait, what?
I think Green Lantern Corps will get canceled because
I
I
don't know that it was
feel
ever meant to be a long running book because Adams is writing both.
I think he's not really writing as much as you think.
Who do you think's writing number the Corpson?
It's Morgan Hampton, the other
Yeah, are they
guy.
co-writing it?
Yeah, they're co-writing it together, but I think it's more like if
Like
you
it's just Adams's like overall like plot and bits of the script, but it's more so the other guy writing. Okay,
yes,
I can see that. Adams is starting to really become like a
a name to put like I
yeah,
really he's like getting big enough where
but he's been working consistently and working hard. So and
but
that's how you do that. Like
I think there's like an audience now like people are like people see Jeremy Adams on a book and they like are like, "Oh, well that's a
yeah.
safe
Well, like
get,"
I mean,
you
and you
know.
think about like the people that he's worked with, or like even the titles that he's worked on, like all have really big legacies. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
both Green Lantern and Flash have some of the biggest names in the industry that have worked on them. And if you
But
make those connections early on, and you're working with them directly, like he did with Johns in Flash, or Flashpoint Beyond, and the Golden Age stuff. So
it's kind
yeah,
of
I
like
mean,
a
it's
Snyder Tynan thing too, like where like
yeah,
I feel like Snyder kind of like propped Tynan up. So like it was like people were actually like excited when Tynan was doing Batman because of those
Yeah.
backups that he did for New 52.
Right. So like, and then like he's even doing Aquaman now too. So he's hitting like all the big heads up until I
Yeah.
think. Do you think at any point he'll circle the Batman and Superman?
I
Maybe
think Superman.
if it's not the big, I would rather see him on Superman. Yeah, I agree.
He'll do Superman.
Do you think he'll be like on Superman at some point, like the main Superman book, or do you think he'll do action?
I think he'll do main Superman.
Okay, might be down for that.
I feel like I mean you follow Adam, so you know
Yeah,
like he's doing the Jeff Johns thing where he's wearing the Aquaman hat. I just feel
he's
like I can see him wearing the Superman hat.
yeah. I could see him do that because he I think he wore a Flash hat when I met him,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah,
Yeah, looking forward to meeting him in
he's
August.
he's definitely making moves, man. And
Yeah.
like kudos to him, bro. Like it's been cool to see him like evolve as a writer.
Oh, absolutely.
So if you're listening, Jeremy, we are very proud of you, brother. Like, keep it up, dude, because that's cool shit.
All right, man. Well, let's wrap this up. Always good chatting with you, and
Yeah,
I'll
I
talk to you
definitely.
next week because we got
We will be
Flash.
back next week with the Flash, not absolute Flash.